The Nimble with Numbers team presents Chalked Blocked with Bo Big Time McBrayer.
I gotta know what a $5 shake tastes like.
That's hot. That's hot.
I want winning, folks. You don't know diddly.
And his partner, Scott Stag Simpson.
Do you know who I am?
Trying to put Tiger Bomb on this jungle's nuts.
That's cute. I remember when I had my first beer.
I gotta catch a glimpse of these warlocks. Let's make a move. Let's make a move. Let's make a move.
Hey, you guys. Welcome back to Chalk Blocked, the world's sexiest DFS show for now. I'm Bo McBrayer, joined as always by Scott Simpson. He's your boy. He's your DFS GPP moneymaker, and he's on a bit of a hot streak. I mean, if we're being honest, Nimble with Numbers is quite agile when it comes to the head-to-heads lately. I'm not saying that his wins were overly impressive because we both kind of had a rough go of it with the head-to-head lineups. But he did prevail by 4 points over me, and I am bitter as all get up because my lineup was pretty spectacular if it wasn't for the fighting Chicago Bears. Yuck.
Oh, I have to say, Bo, this is what's interesting is that the lineup that you showed me was a 200-point lineup. One of my best lineups was a 198-point cash lineup. So if you're in a cash game and you're scoring those points, you're winning the cash game. I know this because I scored 192 in my $100 double up, and I got like 5th place out of the whole double up and didn't even have to worry about it. Didn't sweat it.
Isn't that like kissing your sister though? Because you could have scored 25 fewer points and made the same exact amount of money.
It is a little disheartening. I'm not going to lie. I will say this, though. Making any money in DraftKings or FanDuel or Yahoo or any type of platform is difficult. And I think when you see someone cash or when you cash, you're like, this is easy. I'm going to do it again and again and again. It is a lot harder than you think. I really haven't won a lot of money since I won 5K at the beginning of last season. Won $100 here and there, back and forth, but not $700 in a week. So it's a good week, and hopefully we're going to continue it. Moving on to the next week, week 4. We're crushing it, by the way, over at Nimble Patreon. Please check us out. Yeah, we are just on in fuego. If you're getting those cash lineups, you're winning. Bo Big Time, I'm going to tell you in a little bit later at the end of the show a cash lineup that I built that with Mike Cash Collins. He's venturing into the $100 double up game. First time he's ever done it. In his lineup, I'll just say this right now. He has Derrick Henry, he has DK Metcalf, and he has Devontae Adams. So it's sexy. And we didn't have to pay down to get just total garbage. We've got Jalen Waddle in there. We've got Jalen Hurts in there. We've got Cordell Patterson in there. So Noah Fant, not a bad lineup. We're hoping to cash. But I know you have some great lineups. We're going to talk the whole slate. We're going to get into the Millie Maker, brought to you by Occupy Fantasy. The Slate Walk is going to be brought to you by RunTheSims.com. And then we're going to get home with our last head-to-head clash of the Beards and Bellies, round 4. I am up 2-1 because of Matt Nagy. Like you said, I totally blame Matt Nagy as well. 9 sacks. He had 65 total yards. You and I had more total yards on Sunday, walking to the fridge and back to our seat than our boy Justin Fields is. It was disappointing.
Basically, I also scored better by going to the fridge. I mean, let's just say that the stat that stood out the most for me was they did 30 dropbacks. They called 30 pass plays. 21 of them was with 5-man blocking scheme. So no extra help, no tight end, no running back chipping, no wide receiver, crackback block, just 5 offensive linemen against one of the best defensive fronts in the entire NFL. And Myles Garrett, he's a monster. And they didn't have anybody to block him because their line, those 5 guys they left to protect their rookie quarterback in his first ever game starting, they were overmatched as it was. They needed help. Yeah. That's not the line that you throw out with 5-man blocking schemes. Like if you have the Cowboys line, you can get away with that. You have the Bears line going against Myles Garrett and company, and what's his name? Jadeveon Clowney. You ever heard of him? He's pretty good too. This defensive line just completely just ripped them to shreds because there was no reason for them to rush more than the 4 guys. And of course, when you can flush a rookie quarterback out of the pocket and he has no receivers open because they couldn't get open either, It was just a complete disaster. And of course, Nagy didn't do anything to adapt at halftime. Literally nothing. They only moved the pocket one time in the second half. So it was basically 3-step drop, 5-step drop. Good luck, kid.
It's so incredible that Matt Nagy decided to take over the play calling this year after his tremendously, you could state the record, his tremendously terrible record that was observable, that was quantifiable, that you could go look it up and like compare it to when he wasn't the offensive coordinator. I think his team averaged double the points when he was not the OC compared to when he was the OC. That's a terrible stat. You never want to have that stat. It's like an Adam Gase special. You know, as soon as they leave you,
it's worse than Gase. You know why? Because Gase actually had experience calling plays in the NFL with the Broncos before he got the head coaching job. And I think Gase was actually a better coordinator because he was a good X's and O's guy. He wasn't a leader of men. He didn't get anybody fired up to go. He wasn't a coach. He was a scheme guy. And in New York, he never had any players to scheme around, and it didn't work when he tried. It was one of the worst performances in coaching history. The problem with Nagy is he's never even been a play caller before he got to Chicago. He rode the coattails of Andy Reid for a few years and got to Chicago and said, hey, I could do this. And no, you cannot, because as soon as they hire Bill Lazor and they give him the play calling for a few weeks, guess what? All that talent, Allen Robinson, Darnell Mooney, David Montgomery, Cole Kmet, those guys are all balling out like they should be. And no, too much pride. I got too much pride. I'm taking the play calling back from Bill Lazor, and wouldn't you know, the whole offense completely falls apart. Shocker.
Well, you know, I don't want to start with them this week. I would just say, though, that their game is one of the lowest totals, if not the lowest total, tied for on the board at 41.5. It is a shit show in that game.
I do have a stack that I'm throwing into that game because it's a clever name that I came up for the stack. It's called the Left for Dead stack. And so I think you're gonna like that one when we do come to it in a couple spots here on the Slate Walk. The Slate Walk, yeah.
Oh yeah,
take a little turn on the Slate Walk.
Build a little stack.
I'm too sexy for my shirt, but I'll keep it on for the people.
Yeah, I had on Sir Anthony Servino earlier today. He's ripped and jacked, and I showed him I'm wearing my FF Fit Club shirt. It looks better on me than with my shirt off of me. So enjoy that, ladies and gentlemen. That was your sneak peek at the goodness.
I'm surprised when you ordered that shirt that you didn't order a schmedium.
You know what? I had a friend who would do that. And I asked him one time, I said, hey, man, can you stop shopping at the other side of the gap? Come over to the adult side of the gap. There's like a big area in the middle where you can cross. So come on over, man. We would love to sell you a shirt there. And he's like, you don't work at the gap. I'm like, for you.
You're 31 years old. Wear some adult clothing, sir.
Oh, man, it's just not good anyway. But it's okay. He had a V-neck down to his nipples, you know, or past it. You know, anyway, we talk too much about
Jägerbomb.
Where do you want? Yeah, several. Where do you want to start this slate walk, as you say?
Well, let's go right along the top there. You got everything lined up right there along the top. Let's start with Jacksonville, Cincinnati.
Oh yeah, that game already happened. Duh. Yeah, I mean, thank
so
you.
You got the main slate up there. First one, yeah. Cleveland, Minnesota.
Sorry about. Thanks, Bo. Thanks for rubbing it in, making me look dumb on camera. Son of a. No,
wasn't.
Thank you.
Without any effort at all.
It was a slam dunk, man. I feel, you know, like the last 2 weeks playing.
What's that? Something low hanging fruit.
Yeah, something. Your nuts are in a bind. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So Cleveland, Minnesota. I'm into this game. It has the total's gone up a hook. I like it to 52. Two offenses that can get it done when it is a shootout, and then two defenses that one can play defense and one cannot play defense. So I'm interested to see what your thoughts on this game are. Who stands out? Who's your must plays? Who are you avoiding like the plague?
I don't know about avoiding like the plague. I'm intrigued by this game because I think Cleveland might need to air it out a little bit more. And that's kind of why the 52 total is it's a teaser, because you would think, these two teams both love to run the football. They love to run the football. Both of these teams. Stefanski, you got the Stefanski influence in Minnesota still. Zimmer is He's a Stefanski guy. So, I mean, you have that outside zone scheme running. Both teams are going to try to establish it. But the weakness of the Vikings defense being their secondary is too glaring for Stefanski to ignore it. I mean, he can bludgeon them with Hunt and Chubb all he wants, but if he actually wants to win this game, he might need to air it out more than you would expect to exploit this bad Minnesota secondary.
Yeah. And one thing I do like to kind of unpack the puzzle of each game when we kind of go to game script it and to kind of build it back up. When you look at the numbers and how Vegas is building this and kind of how Run the Sims is building it in collaboration, what you see is Justin Jefferson stands out as somebody who is a zone buster, a Kirk Cousins, magnet in this game. I was listening to a podcast earlier today, and they were talking about just the zone scheme that they run. It's advantageous here for Justin Jefferson. He is the best projected wide receiver in all of Run the Sims. Not the highest ceiling, but just the highest projection, 22 points. What do you think about Justin Jefferson kind of being the catalyst for this game? If Justin Jefferson goes, there goes the game. Is that kind of how you're thinking? Because that's kind of how it's setting up for the 52-point total. If he doesn't get going, maybe it's Adam Thielen. I don't think Adam Thielen's a field stretcher necessarily. Maybe it's Osborne, but it looks like it's more of a Justin Jefferson can turn this game on, or it can kind of get turned off. What do you think?
I mean, I'm kind of fading Minnesota this week. I don't think they're for real. I don't think Kirk Cousins has faced a good defense yet. He definitely hasn't faced a defense that's put any pressure on him. Guess what Cleveland's really good at? We just saw them sack Justin Fields 9 times last week. And whether it's all Matt Nagy's fault or not, it is. But Minnesota is I think they're in for a rude awakening because Kirk Cousins is eventually going to turn back into a pumpkin and be human again. He's averaging 26 points a week. Jefferson and Thielen are both feasting on the bad defenses that they've had in front of them so far. I think Cleveland's going to beat the brakes off of the Vikings in Minnesota this week.
I will say that PFF has Minnesota at a negative 23% disadvantage. It's not good. That
doesn't sound good at all. And Jefferson being 7,300 in the same range as guys I like a little bit more. It kind of helps me along the fade of Minnesota's offense this week, especially when I think that the balance of the Cleveland offense is going to really keep that any potential Vikings blow up from really hitting its peak. So yeah, you can obviously play Jefferson with confidence, but I don't think he's going to score 20 points. I think he's going to be somewhere in that. I think he's going to be closer to that Thielen 17-point number, and I actually think Odell Beckham's going to be the guy that scores over 20.
Yeah, I have that too. I have Odell Beckham at 20 points is his projection with a touchdown. I like him just on volume alone, but then this secondary has shown it can get beat. Jamar Jefferson. They did beat him the first week, right? Yeah. He took him down.
Jamar Chase.
Oh, Jamar Chase. Sorry, my Jeffersons and my stuff mixed up. Yeah, Jamar
Jefferson is a terrible running back for the Lions.
I'm getting Jamar Jefferson, Justin Jefferson, and Jamar Chase all confused into one person. Jamar Chase took him to the house week 1 on a touchdown. And then you saw what happened in week 2 against the Cardinals. This is an offense that likes to throw the football. They like to get up and down the field. And so I do think that's going to cause, the unbalancing a little bit. But I would say that it was unbalanced a little bit already with the 30% plus target share that Odell Beckham's getting there. I think he's going to continue that. So I like that a lot. If you're picking a running back, are you touching anybody on the Vikings side with the injury kind of coming back for Dalvin Cook? Can you trust that? Or is it a Madison sneaky little game, or you getting Abdullah for min price? What are you doing here?
I mean, assuming Cook is back, that kind of puts Madison back where he belongs on the bench. And I was wrong about Madison last week. I didn't expect his passing work to be that big. He was really good out of the backfield as a receiver. He looked okay as a runner. That's pretty much all you can expect out of him. If Cook's back and he's on the field, he's always a GPP wild card because he's, of course, 8,100. That's actually pretty low for him. And so of course you can take a shot at Dalvin Cook anytime in a tournament and feel pretty good about it, because if he's on the field, it means that he's going to be a threat.
Yeah.
And they're going to lean on him both in the run game, in the red zone. Goal line work is all going to be his, all the third down work. He's a bell cow back.
Mm-hmm.
And you can never, especially with the quality of player he is at 8,100, that's a really nice little price spot this week.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm fading both quarterbacks in this matchup. And yeah, we're just going to leave it at that. You ready to go to the Washington football team and the Atlanta not choking dog Falcons?
They finally won one.
They finally won one. Right. You can say they're not choking dogs right now. So, like, congratulations for not sucking completely.
It was close, though. They very, very nearly lost to that. Oh my God. It was, I mean,
close. Did you see their D coordinator catching feelings at the mic the other day when he just went through everything they did right to win the game? And
he's the only good coach on their team. So I mean, that's the one guy you actually feel bad for, because I mean, look what he has to work with.
It's not. Yeah, and even lost Ken O'Neal. So I mean, you're
Keanu Neal's on the Cowboys, but he was never a factor anyway because he was out with Achilles and a knee injury.
Right. That's why you had somebody to use. You never got to use him. You never got to put him in the position that
great player, but 2 catastrophic injuries in a row. And I mean, that's just an unfortunate part of the game.
Yeah. Well, this game's got a little bit lower total, about a 4.5 point, come down from the Cleveland 52 points, 47 and a hook. We saw Washington get demolished by Buffalo last week. They're in Atlanta now. It's now or never. I mean, if they can't beat the Falcons, they're going to go like 3-14. So what do you think happens?
You love to see it.
I know. I do. I hope Dan Snyder, his wife's now running the team. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Not Danny Boy anymore.
No wonder they're more likable just by default.
Well, I mean, listen, I'm just going to say this. It's hard to root against Ron Rivera battling cancer. As a human, you just have empathy and sympathy and care for somebody who is
He's a warrior, man. Absolute warrior.
And fighting cancer, and then also somebody who's trying to lead a franchise. You don't have any animus necessarily towards him, but the franchise has done its ills. So speaking of that, though, I'm not going to shed a tear if they lose. Do you think the Falcons can make it back-to-back wins? Is there anybody here that you're okay? It's a big fat no, but there's still some value to be had in this matchup for sure. Who are some of your targets in this game?
Look at, just your Terry McLaurin. His volume under Heineke has been extremely high. Heineke he's not a good quarterback, but he's been really good for fantasy. I'll take it. I mean, if he looks like Jalen Hurts, where he looks like, he's going to lose you the game because he's so turnover prone and he makes terrible decisions, but by golly, in garbage time, he's going to rack up some fourth quarter points for you. I'm all about that, especially against the Falcons defense. Can't stop anybody. And I mean, anybody. But so I'm going full on Washington onslaught in different ways. I'm going to find creative ways to mix up different pieces of this offense.
Yeah, I think Logan Ryan is viable for cash too at 4,900. That's not a terrible price. I don't love tight ends; they're not my favorite, but the Atlanta Falcons are not a vice grip for tight ends. That's not one of their fortes. What do you think?
Put me out there at tight end. I think I would at least hit 3x.
Yeah, right. Well, let me ask you about your boy Kyle Pitts. What do you think about him? Is he viable? He's not been completely viable yet. He's not been lit up yet this year and kind of been like, oh yeah, he hit. He's got the flame next to him. What do you think about this week? Washington's not good against the tight end at all.
Well, I mean, I do have vested interest. Of course, I'm one of the biggest proponents for Kyle Pitts this year in redraft dynasty, you name it. And the production hasn't been there. But when you go back and look at the tape, the dude's open. The game plan stinks because you have your 4th overall pick as the 3rd or 4th receiving option. And the way their line is blocking, Matt Ryan is checking down well before he gets into it through his progressions, where Kyle Pitts is running all alone in a zone. Cover 2 scheme that they faced last week. You had Kyle Pitts running up the seam wide open. He was open in the end zone, and Matt Ryan airmailed him. Got bailed out by a pass interference that ended up letting them win the game. But he's there. He's definitely there. They just need to figure out a way to make him more of a priority in manufactured touches for him, like they did the preseason. This one preseason play, it was an obvious okay, we're going to run him underneath the formation. We're going to run a little underneath route and let him run after the catch. And they haven't even done that one time this year.
No.
His one big catch last week, which saved us from being a complete goose egg, it was that kind of like, oh, we're just going to run a 5-yard hitch. And by golly, he's pretty athletic. Wow. We went 3.5 quarters without even looking at this guy. And the first time he touches the ball, he makes a 24-yard catch. And you're like, oh, we should do that more often.
Well, but you're not going to like this. The Atlanta Falcons have the worst pass rush disadvantage, according to PFF, 44% to the Washington football team.
Surprised.
I know. Chase Young
front is scary.
Licking their chops. Well, and here in Washington, all the talk has been on their underperformance because really the line has not played well. They've not gotten Chase Young has 0 sacks. He's struggling. So they do need to get some pressure on Matt Ryan. He's just the quarterback to feast on. Honestly, I feel bad for Matt Ryan as a human being because I feel like it's another one of those weeks where he's face down on the ground and his teammates are all looking around like, what happened? Like, you guys didn't block for him. Yeah, poking with a stick.
You guys were blocking each other while these gigantic humans were crushing your quarterback who's 38 years old.
Yes, it's not going to be pretty. I do think that's going to limit Kyle Pitts, honestly, just getting through the progressions, which means another wide receiver, kind of running back type hybrid here. Cordell Patterson, he's 4,900. I think that's a live grenade in GPP. What do you think about that against these Washington football teams?
If I know anything about Washington, is they have shut down those running backs, those backfield receiving threats that they got carved up by a few last year. They played Eckler and they held him without a target in week 1.
So do you think that's more of game scheme, or do you think that
I think that's the strength of that defense. They're getting beat over the top if their 4-man rush doesn't get home, their corners are out there on an island and they're just not good enough. So if somehow Atlanta blocks this front line like other teams have, Calvin Ridley might actually finally have his biggest game because the volume's been there. He's getting 11 targets a game. It just hasn't resulted in any real production. So
I'll say this. I do not think that Matt Ryan will be clean on any 7-step drops that he takes. Any, not one.
If they call 5 and 7-step drops in this game, they're idiots. If he does a shotgun 4-step drop back or something from the shotgun and does like a little hybrid, he might be able to get it downfield before Chase Young plants him. This is going to be, I think if you watch the game a couple years ago where Atlanta won in overtime down there, it was like 8 years ago, a long time ago. It was back and forth, hit and miss, big plays. I think there'll be a lot of turnovers in this game, and I think there'll be a lot of scores too. So this 47.5, I think it does hit the over because both these teams' defenses have not played well at all, and they're in the bottom half of the league. Even though Washington's defense looks good on paper, they just haven't been. Can we talk about Curtis Samuel? Like, why is nobody talking about this guy?
Well, I think it's because he hasn't played, and I think that people are worried about his
Have we received any storylines that he forgot how to play football?
No. I think he's still Curtis Samuel. I mean, from all of intents and purposes.
Do you remember last season? I think it was like week 12 or 13. I posted on Twitter, empty DraftKings lineup, just Curtis Samuel slotted in at 4,600 or whatever he was for Carolina.
I remember that.
And I said, now what? And
29
everybody made fun of me, and the dude went up for like 27 points.
Yeah, 29 points. You played against me, you son of a bitch. I remember this game.
And I'm playing him against you this week because 3,000 for a guy as good as Curtis Samuel, that's not going to happen anymore after this week.
No,
He's
it's playing
the Atlanta Falcons.
I know. But see, here's the thing, too. I saw the Atlanta Falcons in game 1 against the Philadelphia Eagles, and I thought, oh, 2 terrible defenses. And then the Falcons were just so awful. Part of this game needs to go back and forth. You know what I mean? Like, there needs to be some shooting in this game for it to actually get to the Curtis Samuel level of participation. Or it's just going to be a lot of boring runs and Heineke scrambles.
Strongly disagree.
Okay.
Because Gibson's shin injury is probably not going to keep him out of playing in this game. but it's definitely going to limit what he does in this game. I don't think they're going to give him a heavy workload in this one. And so we might see a lot of McKissick swing passes and folding Curtis Samuel in there. It doesn't take much to hit a nice value at $3,000 for a wide receiver.
It's a great value. Oh, no, it's a great value.
Especially for a guy
who
is perfect timing. He comes back, and we've seen him run plenty of running plays as a running back, like as a wildcat running back or wildcat quarterback. They did it with Carolina back when they're the same offensive coordinator. Foster was there in Carolina with Curtis Samuel, and they ran a lot of them at wildcat and tailback. And what perfect opportunity that then when your stud Antonio Gibson is banged up.
You're winning me over, Bo. You're winning me. I'm just a little worried given how the injury unfolded here in the timeline that we were talking about here in Washington was very much he'll be fine, and now it's week 4. And so but they
put him on IR, so he had to miss the first 3 weeks.
Oh no, he did. He definitely did. But I don't dislike it. I'm just a little less.
I love it. You know what I love? Look at that projected ownership.
Oh, is it sub-zero? No, it's like 4%. 1.
It is 0. It is 0.
Yeah, it's 0. Yeah.
Nobody is going to have Curtis Samuel except for this guy right here.
Your boy. Yeah. I like it. And maybe we'll talk about later in the Millie Maker. Maybe it is definitely worth a hello as your min price.
Especially with the studs that I really want to spend up on this week.
Oh yeah, there's some studs.
We'll come to my head-to-head lineup because I know you're going to want to talk about what I did there.
As it was pretty evil. Let's jump into our next game. 41 and a hook for Detroit. Number falling faster than Justin Fields in a field full of his teammates not blocking for him. What do you think about this game? Is DeAndre Swift just a cheat code, Konami code still from the Lions?
Yeah, DraftKings hates him apparently.
I like that. Good. Hate on him. It's the question mark, man. It is the question.
3 weeks of running back, top 5 running back production. 3 weeks of top 5 production, and he's 6,200.
He's averaging 8 receptions a game. You can suck it. I mean, I just don't even know what to say. You know what I mean?
He doesn't even need to run the ball, and he's still getting 11 carries every week.
Yeah, it's a touchdown. It's 8 catches. It's 70 yards. It's 40 yards catch.
I actually like watching some of the Lions games because that dude is so good.
Well, I was hoping that him and the Hawkinson would be blowing up. They're not both at the same level.
Screwed me.
Yeah. Last week was a Hawk disaster, and then on the other side. I'm not an animus guy at all. I forgive and forget, but man, Hollywood Brown dropped 3 touchdowns. That's wild. That's wild as shit, man.
That hurts.
3 touchdowns.
That hurts.
Yeah, I had Lamar Jackson everywhere. I would have won a lot more than $400 if he would have caught like 2 of those. I would have won thousands of dollars. But it's okay. I still love you, man. It's okay. You're a millionaire. You can drop it. I'm just a thousandaire, so who cares, right?
Yeah, I think it was just an aberration. I mean,
of course,
it was a road game, Detroit. You got the weird lights and who knows. But it was very uncharacteristic of him because we've seen him ever since he was at Oklahoma. Catching deep balls is part of Marquise Brown's life. That guy, he made his bacon on catching deep balls, and he had a bad game.
Yeah, the ghost of Henry down there.
Hopefully, he's in the same club as Jalen Hurts, where he's just gonna flush it.
Yeah, just flush it, baby.
Don't.
I like that.
Just flush it. Move on.
Flush it. Yeah. Sometimes you can.
Yeah, this game is a flush it game, but I do want to mention my left for dead stack, which includes 3 players that burned everybody last week. I'm going to stack Justin Fields because I'm a glutton for punishment, absolute masochist.
You're a sick person.
What?
I said you're a sick person.
Yeah, I'm extremely ill. Justin Fields and Darnell Mooney because
why not?
I'm all about pain. And then I'm going to run it back with Hawkinson and Swift because I just want to feel something.
Oh my God.
And watch this game somehow shoot out, and Fields is what we expected out of him for the first time. And of course, Mooney is the big play threat at 3,900 with his target share. I mean, I don't expect the Lions to do the same thing to the Bears that the Cleveland Browns could. They're just not the same team. This is the night and day difference in defensive ability.
Oh, well, I mean, for one, the Lions eat kneecaps, and the Browns don't do that. So that's going to mark them up a little bit differently in the pecking order for sure. So I've got you at a 5% because we're going to build some more stacks.
That's my left for dead stack.
Did we forget any stacks in any of these other games that you wanted to go back and quickly stack them?
And you could do a Heineke stack, but I'm not a huge fan of it.
Okay, we'll see at the end how we're doing. I'm kind of not a huge Heineke stack guy either. He is all there's like these brain fart moments he has where he just is like, I'm gonna throw the ball to the guy on the other team, and that's not what we want.
I'm gonna stare at my receiver for 5 seconds and then throw it directly to the guy
and throw it to the guy, right in his hands. So yeah, I would kind of avoid the rest of the plays in this game personally myself. And in the next game, there's not that many plays I would play, but there's a few. There's a sneaky few here in this other suboptimal 41.5 game. Not my favorite one on the red zone. We'll see it in the red zone sparingly, I think, from this total. Where are you at? Are you Alvin Kamara or bust? Or are you
Pretty
also
much.
Yeah, I mean, you could do an Ingram 3,000, but I think there's a better, I'd take Andre 3,000 over him. So, but
I'm going to take some shots at Ingram at 3,000 because they don't really have anybody else. I mean, Galladay is basically just going through the motions at this point. He's active. You have Colin Johnson, who, I mean, his remarkable trait is being really tall. You have CJ Board.
I'm bored on CJ.
I'm bored thinking about him. And you have Saquon Barkley, and Saquon Barkley is definitely going to be capped by an extremely tough Saints defense.
They're the best defense. They figured out how to stop running backs. They just know what to do.
Yeah, they've been stopping running backs for 3 years. And yeah, I like Saquon as a one shot, one kill. I'll throw him in a 50-cent tournament just to see if he does something. But it's Alvin Kamara and nobody else in this game.
Yeah,
and he's going to feast. He's going to absolutely destroy New York's defense.
I agree completely with that. I have a question for you. We have Ryan asking Waddle or Osborne or Corey Davis. You like Corey Davis or Waddle in that one?
Corey Davis, revenge game.
I said Waddle before he threw Corey Davis on there. We'll add Corey Davis. Yeah, we'll add Corey Davis for sure.
The Colts are finally playing a team that doesn't have a juggernaut offense. Their defense is actually pretty good.
Yeah, so, I'm not against their defense. I did like the target volume last week with 12 for 13. Now it's remarkable. He got 12 receptions for 17 points. How do you do that? That's fucking crazy. So yeah. Anyway, I digressed a little bit there. Sorry to the kids. Let's jump to a game I do like a little more. Houston travels to Buffalo.
I don't like this one either.
I don't like the game. I do like a few players in the game. What do you think about a priced up Josh Allen? What Mike Collins bullish on him this week? We spoke earlier on the phone. Nothing. Yeah. What 8K? Is that too much?
No. 7K was criminally low. 8K is finally back where he should be. And he's playing Houston Texans.
Yes.
And if we've seen anything the last 2 weeks is that Buffalo is one of the best teams in the NFL. And they're not the type of team that's going to let their foot off the gas, which I love for DFS.
Yes.
Josh Allen didn't just stop when he had 4 touchdowns. He went for number 5 in that second half.
I like this too. Mike was talking about this. Players have incentives to reach on their contracts. If they get these games that are low hanging fruit, they're like, let me get as many touchdowns as I can.
Cha-ching.
It might be harder to get touchdowns on week 16, 17 in these divisional games, playoffs on the line, dying here. But Houston, I'll take this one for me. So that I like that angle. I do like him. Cole Beasley, the Bees, is just he's not vaccinated. He's not waxed, apparently.
Got a haircut, though. He got a haircut.
He did. I was going to mention that. That's what I was going to say. He did get a haircut. What do you think about him? He's only 5,400. He's been priced up $600 from 48, but he's still one of the third most targeted wide receivers in the NFL right now. Is that where we have him at? I mean, he's ridiculously targeted.
Well, week 1 faced a predominantly zone defense. This is a stat that we picked up from our buddy Jordan Bannock. Zone defense predominantly week 1, 13 targets. Predominantly man defense week 2. What do you have? 4 targets. Not really a factor. Last week, predominantly zone defense, 13 targets.
13 targets. Right.
And of course, Houston doesn't have any personnel to have any business running man coverage at any point. So they're going to run a lot of cover 2, cover 3, cover 2 man. And guess what? Cole Beasley is going to feast again, and I'm going to have him everywhere.
Yeah. That's what I like. See, that's the thing I'm talking. Last week,
Cole Beasley's. You think of Cole Beasley as a cash player because he gets a lot of short yardage volume, but there's so much of it that he's also a good tournament play, especially at 54.
Can I put something in here real quick? To give you a little context, I'm going to agree 100% with you because he was in the Millie Maker winner with our boy last week, Josh Allen. So it's not that you have to repeat.
And Emmanuel Sanders, which I did not see coming.
Right. It was a double stack. It had 2. I had a few lineups that had them in it that were in my GPPs that helped me get a little bit of cash. I didn't play the rest of them very well, unfortunately. But, that Emmanuel Sanders double touchdown game is probably going to go to Diggs if there's a double touchdown game this week. So, you can't just go dollar for dollar. You hope. Right. Right, but he's priced up though. Was still affordable, still under 8K, and that's affordable for Diggs for sure, given his explosiveness this year. He hasn't shown it yet, but we know it's capable. Any running backs love in this game on Buffalo's side? I did have Zach Moss in mind. I'm regretting that now, but what do you think?
Yeah, I think that of all your picks, that was the one I liked the least.
Yeah.
But he has produced, and even though he's a healthy scratch in week 1. He came out to play once he was active, and Devin Singletary is meh. He's nothing special. And really, Zach Moss is just slightly more special than Devin Singletary. They're basically the same player. Moss is just a little more physical, more of a hard-nosed runner, better nose for the end zone.
Yes.
And if you're gonna think, somebody's gonna score a rushing touchdown that's not named Josh Allen, then it's probably going to be Moss. We've seen that the last couple of weeks where he scored 3 touchdowns. But how often are you going to count on that? Because it's still Josh Allen's show.
Right. Well, what I liked in my viewing of the tape, as they say, I know that the
film,
the grinding of the film, as Peter Howard once said, he goes, "You're a tape grinder." I said, "Mate, I'm whatever you want me to be." You know what I mean? Wink, wink. No.
Yeah, we watched the film and we
and so he
put on our Gatsby caps.
He was labeling me a tape grinder for some reason because I watched some highlights.
Guilty.
I was to say I watched some highlights, and one of the highlights I watched was of a little dump off pass from Josh Allen, and in space in the middle of the field, Zach Moss took it. He went right through the defense. He was decisive in his cuts. He was strong in his movements towards the goal line. Get tackled before he got there, about 20 yards short. But it just the way he did, he got 20 yards on the play. It was great. And then it set up later for the touchdown. He actually did catch. We got the defender going the other way with his body, cut back against the grain, and went to the corner of the pylon. I loved it. So if you get more of that action, then you're getting, maybe 20 points as a upside ceiling, and let's see, I did not run the Sims on this, but let's go put some stacks together for here because, I'm not stacking any run backs, but I will stack some Buffalo wide receivers, 2 or 3, and a running back. What's your favorite one of these that you're going to go with here? Price down? You want to just rerun it with Emmanuel Sanders, or do you want to go your boy Gabe Davis? How are you looking at this?
Gabe Davis is upsetting me because he
had the
no
first
work at all
game last week. First catch of the game,
and that was it. That was his only target of the entire game.
The whole game. It was so crazy. I was like, "Oh, good! Look at Gabe Davis. He's going to finally get." No, nothing. It was a trick.
Well, and what we're finding out is that Sanders signing was genius because he still got some left in the tank, and he had a great game, and he's probably going to have more great games, especially in a Houston lineup. I wouldn't include the running back on this stack. I would be just kind of taking a double stack approach like last week because it's going to work, and probably going with 2 of the 3 in different mixtures with Josh Allen because they're going to throw the ball a lot. They don't like to run the ball too much. They run a lot of 4 and 5 wide personnel, empty sets. Josh Allen he's the show. He's the engine that makes it all run, and Stephon Diggs is he's the main attraction to that show. He's the greatest show at wide receiver that they have, and they bracketed him last week, and he still got his. He wasn't amazing, but I mean, Emmanuel Sanders and Cole Beasley were wide open all game.
Right. Well, I'm going to build a Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Cole Beasley stack, and then I'm also going to build a Stephon Diggs and Emmanuel Sanders stack. So we'll do a little bit of both, because we can, because we're running the Sims. Like, that's the best part,
Mm-hmm.
So,
are you going to do a Beasley and Sanders as well?
Oh, you know it, my friend. Let me actually go down on this other stack a little bit to make it. We'll do 15% from this game. We don't want to overload all of our stacks into one game. Like, that's the fun part about running the Sims. It gives you a variety of lineups, and you want to kind of maximize your variety and how you build. So, all right, let's jump to the next game, which is one of my favorite games. Oh, and it's your boys, which is great. Exit. I got a question. Buffalo covers that 17? I think they do. What do you think?
No, I think Houston covers it.
Houston covers it. Okay, we got a little side bet action here. I like it. Let's jump over to Carolina at your boys at Dallas Cowboys, -5.5, 52-point total, big total. Carolina, one of the better defenses so far on paper, but they've only faced the Jets, Houston, and then a Jameis-led, terribly slow, inefficient, one of the worst offenses in the league, New Orleans Saints. I don't think they're on caliber with Dallas. What do you think about this?
Well, we saw a very similar game last week between the Eagles, who didn't play anybody before they headed to Dallas on Monday night. And we saw that this Dallas offense is so versatile, so deadly. They can beat you any way they want. Right. They can basically go eeny, meeny, miny, mo on a game plan and put up 40 points like it's nothing.
Right.
And I don't think Carolina's defensive personnel can hold up to it because they're better than the Eagles defense, but they're not that much better. They're younger. They're more athletic, but they take a lot of risks, which is why they cause a lot of turnovers. But guess which team leads the entire league in takeaways? That'd be the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm looking at a defense for the Cowboys that leads the league in takeaways going up against a quarterback who's known for giving the ball away quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I'm taking the under in this game. I think this is going to be one of those knuckle dragger games that most people aren't going to see coming. I think 27-21. I think the Cowboys cover, but it's not going to be decided till probably the middle of the fourth quarter.
I think that Dallas is going to push them around a bit up front. I think they have the advantage. I mean, this is just PFF.
Their offensive line is so good.
Yeah, PFF has them at a 61% advantage over Carolina. So what that means is if they start to force the ball down their throat and Carolina has to bring their safeties down and they have to kind of put more in the box, then you get one-on-one with Amari Cooper. Then you get one-on-one with CeeDee Lamb. Holy shite.
And then you run that little three-man game they ran against the Eagles with Schultz and Cooper and Tony Pollard, where it's like, oh, pick your poison. You're screwed either way.
We're going to flood you. We're going to flood you. And then you're going to have to pick one. Okay, other guy. We got the guy you're not covering. Yeah, it's a fun game when you can outmaneuver strategically as an NFL head coach the opposition in that way. I mean, think about pick and rolls. Just think about all of this is creating space. You're creating space. That's all you're doing.
Kellen Moore is a master.
Yeah,
master game planner.
I think this game is a little different than you think. Honestly, I think this game is like 31-17 Dallas. And I think that Zeke eats. They don't have him projected for very much here for Run the Sims. They have Chuba Hubbard projected over him. I think Zeke. I'm just
Chuba.
I'm not
Chuba,
into that.
Get out of here with Chuba.
I'm not into that at all. I think Chuba splits carries a little bit this week. I think
Chuba splits carries and gets benched because he's not good at football.
Yeah, I'm into Zeke this week. I think he's a good play.
Zeke week.
Yeah,
it's Zeke week.
Brad, my guy, Brad Ward, love him.
Well, and everybody wants to push the Sam Darnold breakout game. Well, like, yeah, I love Sam Darnold this year. I've made multiple bets as Sam Darnold in the top 15 of my fantasy quarterbacks because their schedule started off really favorably. I definitely didn't expect the Dallas defense to be performing this well coming into this game. So I'm backtracking that kind of the Sam Darnold narrative this week because I think that he's going to turn the ball over 2 or 3 times at least. Yeah. And we're going to see a regression game because this is the first defense that he's played that can't the Saints, he basically had a rushing touchdown, which saved his bacon in that one.
Yeah. Well, and what do you think about Trayvon Diggs? I was listening to some podcasts earlier today, and is he going to be shadowing DJ Moore? Yeah, they don't do that, right? So it's going to be matchup kind of dependent for DJ Moore when they can get him away from him. I think is when he's going to.
And they will. They'll do it at all costs because
they have to scheme it. Yeah.
Other than Trey Diggs, the corners of the Cowboys are not good. They're very young. They're very inexperienced. They're not athletic. They're banged up. They're working with 3rd and 4th string nickel and dime corners out there, and it's not good because
Brown injured still, or is he?
Well, he'll be out on the field because he's a warrior, but it's not good because if you get talented receivers like Moore and Marshall and Robbie Anderson, it's not going to be pretty. And they're going to move DJ Moore all over the place to get him away from Diggs because Diggs is going to be a right corner lined up against whoever lines up on the left side at X receiver, and DJ Moore is going to be all over the place. Yeah. Joe Brady is going to move DJ Moore around because he doesn't want his best receiver to be covered by the NFC Defensive Player of the Month.
I mean, he is the 14th rated cornerback on PFF. So, that's not something to scoff at. He's had a great season so far. I think by the end of the year, he'll be graded out even higher for sure. I like Micah Parsons as well in the middle. I think it's going to be hard to get Chuba Hubbard going with him, honestly. And I know there's not a big pass rush, with DeMarcus Lawrence out. But Sam Darnold, he's picked people apart when he's had time. I wonder what that's going to look like too. That's the only kind of question I have about the matchup because we can know Dallas can run. What's going to happen with the pass protection? On the other side.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because we don't know if Micah Parsons is going to continue to play defensive end like he has been the last 2 weeks, or if he's going to play back at that weak side linebacker spot that he did in week 1 when Lawrence was healthy. But The dude's good at everything. They put him at defensive end and he did great. So, and that's why they kind of forced a lot of turnovers against Jalen Hurts and against it was Parsons putting the heat on Hurts. Smith falls down on the stem of his route, and Trey Diggs was already breaking towards that pick 6. And it was just a beautiful defensive scheme to say, hey, Jerry Jones said it perfectly. Trevon Diggs is a wide receiver that's pretending to be a corner. His brother, it happens to be a really, really good wide receiver.
Yeah, his name's like Stefan or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I think he went to some small ACC school in Maryland.
Nowhere, Cinderella story, Oh my gosh! No, I do like that, and so for me, I'm gonna be kind of.
I'm a full fade on Chuba though. I can't stand.
I'm a full fade.
I can't stand the hype that he's getting this week because it's all fluff.
Yeah,
it's a big balloon of nothing.
Yeah, I'm not into it at all either. You see how on the Simpsons, DJ Moore, also CeeDee Lamb up there. Amari Cooper, boom or bust Amari so far, 40 or 5. That's what you got. You know what I mean? Which is fine. Is this a game he gets more like 40 or does he get more like 5 in this game?
It's pin the tail on the donkey. He's the perfect tournament play.
Yes, 100%. I almost played him in our head-to-head matchup, but you know what? I went Odell Beckham instead just because I was like, I don't want to burn you with your own guys. I'll wait and do that later in the season. I just want to do one of your guys. Did you read the column, by the way? Were you up on it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was very clever. You were brief and to the point, and it was very poignant.
Yeah. So I'm all about the the Bo stack attack comeback, but we'll talk about that later. let's build some stacks with this one. Who do you want in your stack? You want a little running back action in your stack? How do you want to build this?
Actually, no. I'm all about the passing game in this one. I think that they're gonna. If we do a running back, I want to do it with a defense. I want to do Cowboys defense with Zeke. That's a really nice little safety stack that has pretty good upside. I mean, we've seen the Cowboys defense average 9 points a game, and that's really solid for a defense that's still going to be priced down because Carolina is a good offense. You can't ignore how good they've been, but we don't know what they're going to look like without Christian McCaffrey. I mean, we're talking about a massive, absolutely gigantic drop-off in talent at the running back position without Christian McCaffrey. It's one of the, I would say it's a top 3 biggest gap in talent between your starter and your backup. Yeah, no, I'm with you. And shout out. This is definitely not my mom's basement. My mom's not allowed in this basement. It's not mom allowed. I love his handle is actually awesome.
Yeah, no, that's great. You know what? I'm against them too, especially on Reddit. The mods on Reddit can just go somewhere else. Anyway,
that might be one of the all-time best comments.
I'm in. I'm down. Thanks for jumping in. Appreciate you contributing. So what's your favorite stack here? I mean, for me, it's got to be Cooper, and I mean, it's an expensive stack for sure, but Cooper and CD Lamb, right? You got to go big or go home in this. GPP, right?
Yeah, especially if you're playing that narrative that the Cowboys are going to win big. It's going to be, if they're scoring 31 points this week, that's going to be through the air.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that too. And I mean, a 10% stack, I like that. You want to do any other smaller stacks? Cedric Wilson interest you at all in this situation where he kind of picks up a garbage touchdown? No, right? Yeah, out. No, nothing.
Like throw in 5% with a Zeke and Dallas defense.
Okay, so put in. They're not letting you put D in here, unfortunately. So they're gonna.
Oh, that is lame. Run the Sims needs to work on that.
We'll give them some feedback. So one running back here. We're gonna reset.
Constructive criticism.
Oh no, it took away all our stacks over here. That's not good. Our stacks are gone. They punished us because I said reset the stacks. I didn't know get rid of all my stacks.
Is there an undo button?
Maybe I'll go back a page. Nope, there's not an undo button. You figure it out in real time. There's not an undo button. That's fine. What are you gonna do? No.
Oh
well.
I think we know what we're doing.
No, we do. We're not. This is gonna be. We're gonna run the Sims anyway down here later. So let me go back to our 13 game slate here so we can be organized in an orderly fashion. So next game up after Dallas, Tennessee at the New York Jets. I made a comment. Derrick Henry challenging the New York Jets 1v11. I put it in print, so go check me out over at Nimble.
I've already seen the movie Little Giants, where the running back just carries the whole team on his back.
Right. I mean, that's what's going to happen in this game. What do you think about any other plays that are in this game for you at all besides Derrick Henry?
Derrick Henry. You can play your Nick, whatever his name is, Ikine.
Westbrook Ikine,
Nick Westbrook Ikine is an interesting spend down for a cash game. I'm not going to play him in a tournament because, 4 targets, he just happened to score a touchdown. Big deal.
Right.
No AJ Brown, no Julio Jones. They're going to run the rock.
Run the rock.
And the Jets are bad, but they're also this game. Yeah, I love Corey Davis this week. I like Zach Wilson. That's a bare minimum price GPP dart throw with Corey Davis stacked with them. Running back with Derrick Henry. That's a nice little easy stack that lets you access just about everybody else too. Because I do think this game is going to be under 44.5, but I think there's points to be had by the condensation of the talented players in this game.
This is a question for you, and I should know this because I was an XFL mark. Was Chester Rodgers in the XFL?
No, but he was like a really very obscure option for Andrew Luck back in the day?
Oh, yes.
Remember that? When he was on the Colts?
Okay.
It would be
Now it's
Chester
all-
Rogers vulturing a Marvin Harrison touchdown or a
How
T.Y.
old
Hilton.
is he? 150 years old?
He's probably only like 31, but
years old. God.
but all I remember is T.Y. Hilton would have 8 for 125, and his touchdown would go to Chester Rogers.
Yeah, that's on a jet sweep. Chester Rogers and
It would be a shovel pass from the 2-yard line.
Right.
Andrew Luck made it look so easy.
And then someone would get a kick in the nuts. Someone knocks on your door and says, "Hey, Chester Rogers got a touchdown, and it's a kick in the nuts for you." And you get kicked in the
It is an Andrew Luck special. Yes.
Yeah. No.
Nobody thought to cover Chester Rogers because you shouldn't have to cover Chester Rogers.
You're not covering him. No. Well, I think Corey Davis and our boy Derrick Henry are the two if only. If not counting Westbrook Akine. Let's go to another snooze fest here. 42.
I disagree.
Oh, you think it's going to be? You think it's going to be a barn burner over here in Miami?
Yep.
Barn burner, really?
Yep. I think this is going to go. It's going to go over. It's going to be a close game.
I think it'll go over this, but I don't think it's going to be.
It's such a low total. That's going to be an easy over.
Well, you have Jacoby Brissett against his old team, so I'm wondering. I broke this down in my mind.
That's the snooze fest part of it.
That's the snooze. I feel like that gives him a little bit of an edge, though, because he knows them. He practiced against them. He understands their scheme a little bit more. But it's a small. He's only 5,100 if you're dirt cheap and you're slumming it. I
love the Colts in this game, though.
Yeah, you're a Colts guy.
But just think about. What do the Dolphins struggle to cover? Running backs. Running backs, they're terrible against running backs. What does the Colts offense run through? Their running backs. Jonathan Taylor is banged up, but he's probably going to play. And he has 13 red zone carries, which leads the NFL. He hasn't done anything with it. He hasn't cracked 70 yards yet. He hasn't scored a touchdown yet. That's going to change, especially against a team like Miami that really isn't that good. I did predict them to get dead last in this division. I think the Jets are going to kind of hit a little groove here and win a few games. I think the Dolphins are going to fall apart because they're not built for the kind of schedule that the AFC East is stacked up with this year. And we've seen the Jets play a gauntlet so far, and they look terrible because they have a rookie quarterback who just came from the Mountain West. So I think they're two different directions. The Colts are a really good defense. I'm going to be playing the Colts defense. I'm going to be playing some Hines. I'll be playing some Taylor. I'll be playing some Michael Pittman. And the Dolphins, I guess I'll play Gesicki because he's a target monster lately, and I love that for a cash game play. And
How about Waddle?
But
No Waddle?
No. The Colts are going to shut them down. It's going to be, I think if the Dolphins keep it close, it's going to be because they're throwing the ball 58 times again at 2 yards downfield each time, and they're just playing keep away.
Well, if you got to do that to win, you got to do that to win. Yeah. So I mean
they're well coached. Flores is a really good coach, and I mean they just don't have much going for them on the offensive side of the ball. You have Fuller and Parker and Waddle and Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah,
Gaskin is the most overrated running back in the league. I'm sorry, but he's not good.
I drafted zero teams.
Everybody who drafted Myles Gaskin in the 6th, 7th, 8th round, I was like, ew, why? Yeah, he had a couple big games last year.
Troy King told you so. That's why.
Well, Troy King loves himself Dolphins everything.
Of course.
And he loves Myles Gaskin, and I predicted this would be a bottom 5 rushing team. And guess what? Guess what they are? They can't run the ball. And against a team like the Colts who can run the ball and has a great defense, I think it'll be a back and forth, but I think it's going to be like a 27-24 game.
How many ankles over under does Carson Wentz roll in this game?
Well, he doesn't have any left. Lieutenant Daniel ain't got no legs.
Got no legs.
And so you're going to see that same kind of running back centric approach, Pittman from the slot. Pascal's a downfield guy. He didn't get any work because Wentz is just checking down. Check down. Pittman getting a ton of work. Hines getting a ton of work. Taylor's going to get lots of carries. Hopefully he breaks one. That's kind of where I'm at with this game. Because I'm a little bit more bullish about the Colts and then the Dolphins being a good team, real football team, but nothing exciting for fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, the only play that I had here is Waddle or Pittman. I like Pittman a lot. I'm with you on there. And so is Salvetri. So, 3 people who I respect. Me, myself, you, Salvetri.
That Sal guy is pretty sharp, too.
He won like $40K the other day. He said that he's a Packers fan, and the Mason Crosby field goal cost him $40,000, and he was just like, miss that, you son of a miss it, so he wanted him to miss it. So I'm telling you,
if we lose 40,000, we cry, and he goes, darn, that's disappointing.
Oh man, I think he was a little bit more blown in that, but he is a professional, and I do love Sal, by the way. Shout out Salvetri. Let's talk about a game that is through the roof, the biggest total tied for, if that on the board, Kansas City at Philadelphia. Philadelphia's got that +7. I think it should be a little bit more, honestly. What do you think about this game?
I'm on the Eagles side.
Ooh, I love it. You're on the Eagles side. Talk to me about this. Why are you fading a down and out against the wall? Didn't you read the tweets? Didn't you hear what Patrick Mahomes had to say? Don't you believe what players say, Bo?
No. And I'm not saying the Chiefs aren't a good football team. They're just not as good as everybody crowned them to be.
I agree with that.
This is the Super Bowl hangover. It happens every year. The team that loses the Super Bowl gets off to a really slow start. And this start is, they're going to Philly. Philly has a great pass rush. And the Chiefs' offensive line isn't as good as Cowboys' offensive line. Cowboys dominated the up front against the Eagles, but we saw the first 2 weeks, the Eagles dominated went the other way in favor of the Eagles against poor lines. They got pushed around by a big Cowboys line that just imposed their will. The Chiefs don't have that. The Chiefs are going to drop back. They're going to play finesse, and they're not going to play much defense. The Eagles are going to they're going to stay in this game. They're going to score with the Chiefs. And that's what the Chiefs' problem has been this year. It's not their offense is amazing. You obviously want pieces of this offense, especially against Philly, who has no athletic ability on their defense besides up front. You're going to want every piece of a 54 total. That's probably going to be over 60. But as far as covering the spread, I think the Eagles are going to maybe win outright in this one because they're going to hang around. The Chiefs are letting teams hang around, and they're not good enough when the chips are down. They're not strong. They're not physical. And you get those teams that are physical that finish those games in the fourth quarter, and the Chiefs aren't that team. And they might miss the playoffs because if they keep losing games at the end, their schedule doesn't let up. That division's loaded.
Yeah, you remind me of Rounders when you said hanging around, and
hanging around.
You just kept hanging around, and I see that, and I like that. What do you think about Miles Sanders this week? A sneaky little play against.
No,
no. He says never. Not a Sanders guy. Are you a Kenny Gainwell priced down guy? Maybe.
Of course.
I love that. I told Mike Collins he's the last running back I will play at that price. He's the min price guy for me. If I'm going to put him in a GPP, that's somebody who has got that upside. So
do we have points per game on this screen? I did predict that Gainwell would outscore Sanders this year in PPR points per game. And I believe they're really close. And Gainwell only had the one really good game when he scored in week 1 and scored twice, but one got called back. Miles Sanders, you better be worried. If you're not worried by now at his usage, you could obviously blame in the last couple of years on Doug Peterson because he obviously hated Miles Sanders because he'd never give him a full workload. He'd never involve him in the passing game. He took him off the field every chance he got. Yeah, look how close they are.
Yeah.
And look at per snap. We're talking about a gigantic advantage in number of touches for Sanders, and Gainwell, look at him, just Limited work,
6 points
comes in for those 3rd and longs, comes in for the mop-up duty and putting up numbers. The dude's talented. They drafted him for a reason, and he would have been a much higher pick if he didn't opt out last year.
No, I agree. And by the way, Run the Sims are powered by fantasy data. So I love fantasy data. I use them every freaking day. They get you some. Look, it's already
10.9 for Miles Sanders is a huge red flag, especially when he had 2 carries last week.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let me just show you how deep I am with fantasy data. If I put an F in my keyboard, fantasy data comes up. It's the first thing that comes up, F. So how about that? I love it. All right, let's continue the slate walk, as my guy Brad Ward said. Travis Kelce. Lock him up. He's got a 93% advantage. I don't know how they do the tight end matchup advantage. It's ridiculous. 93%
well,
over
the Eagles have. Yeah. Did you watch Andy Singleton try to cover Dalton Schultz of all players?
Oh my gosh, old crotchety white guy.
He's not even old. He's just not athletic. He can't catch up. And on top of that, he was lost out there. Give Singleton a map. He was lost. He was making all the wrong choices. His footwork was all out of whack. And if Dalton Schultz is burning you down the field, you got issues, buddy.
Right. It's not good. Travis Kelce is going to make you just like eat dirt. It's not. I'm very excited about Travis Kelce. Cash for sure. GPP, he's viable.
Yeah.
He is. Yeah, he's viable.
I'll eat the chalk on Kelce any day. He's still, if you say tight end position doesn't exist, he's wide receiver 3 in PPR.
Right. That's crazy. You abolish that. Just make them all wide receivers. Yeah, very good. What do you think about CEH 5,400? Is that a tease? Is that something that you're willing to dip into? Or no?
Hell yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
He won me money last week.
Oh, he did he? I like that a lot. I think he is definitely worth rostering, and I think that he's somebody who he's got 2 touchdown upside. Just in a game that could shoot, how these touchdowns going to be scored, you don't know. They can be Kelce, they can be Tyreek Hill, they can be jet sweeps.
There's going to be a lot of them.
There's going to be a lot of them. Right, a lot of them. Target this game with a lot of your plays. I think Devontae Smith is a good run back option in this game too. You can put Rager in if you're, gambling in GPPs. You're going for upside.
Yeah, if you're a true degenerate, you play Rager. I think Devontae Smith, for what he's actually doing, and even in these shootout games, he's not really producing up to the salary of $5,700 this week. His price keeps going up for no reason. I'm not a huge fan of that. So for cash games, I'm off Devontae Smith. For a tournament, of course, you can play him in a game with this high of a total.
Sure. Yeah.
Dallas Goddard.
Ooh.
I have never been a fan of Dallas Goddard, but by golly, does he have a nice, juicy one this week.
Well, they give up touchdowns, so, there's that.
Yeah, and Goddard's pretty decent at scoring him.
Yeah, he's a big, huge target in there. Did he come out of Boise? Is that where he came out of? Boise,
South Dakota State.
South Dakota State. Yeah, I know it was out there in the
Jackrabbits.
Yeah, just out there running across. That dude, I followed him. He's one of the first I think I watched on Matt Waldman's video series. I love
RSP. Love it. Shout out Matt Waldman.
I think I watched that and was just like, man, this guy's going to do something eventually. I'm watching him. I'm watching you. I've got my eyes on you, Dallas Goddard, and I've been watching ever since. So yeah, I do like that. I think there's a lot of plays that are options in this game. I'm playing Jalen Hurts. I'm thinking cash. I think he's a great play. Yeah. Here's a question: 3 players, $200 separating them, right? So this is 7,000 to 6,900 to 6,800, right? So right there, I'm talking. Would you rather have? We haven't gotten to the game yet. We're getting to it now, but would you rather have Matthew Stafford in cash, or Jalen Hurts in cash, or Aaron Rodgers in cash? Which one?
In cash?
Jalen
Hurts. Jalen Hurts had a terrible, terrible game against Dallas last week. Still ended up with 22 points. And if that's his floor, he's a cash player.
yeah, he's cash money. Could be GPP play too if you're, just in the mood to get freaky with $6,900 there.
Nice.
Nice.
Hey, I've won the most money with $6,900 quarterbacks this year. Tom Brady stacked with Gronk and Evans that week. That was when Brady was $6,900. I might have to put a little bit more Hurts in there because that price is nice.
Noise. Yeah. Hashtag noise. I do like that a lot. What about this other 5,400? I think this other 54-point game. Do you think that Arizona gets up to this 54? Because I know LA can. What do you think about that?
The Rams are going to destroy them.
Demolish them. You know that Kyler Murray 0-4 in his career against the LA Rams, or the Rams.
Lots of sacks.
11
picks.
11. Yeah. It's not been good. Aaron Donald has just blown him up.
Yeah, he does that.
It's kind of his thing. I'm not going to lie. I've noticed a pattern of behavior ridiculously again and again.
It really gets me pause when you still have Hopkins. You still got bruised ribs. You didn't recover in a week from bruised ribs. He looked pretty bad last week.
Right.
That's a big thing to go from. He faced a tough corner matchup last week, and he's got the toughest one this week. Jalen Ramsey is going to be in his pocket. And yes, Hopkins is always open even when he's covered, but Kyler Murray's got a lot of weapons, and I'm kind of worried that if this game does end up shooting out, that it's going to be Hopkins that is the guy you fade again in favor of more Green or Kirk or even Edmonds.
Yeah.
The Rams are going to score. And for all the people that say the Cardinals defense isn't bad, it's basically a good pass rush, and that's it.
It's not good. It's not.
They have a good defensive line. They're a lot like the Eagles.
Yeah.
They're a lot like the Eagles. They can get after the quarterback with 4 guys. They drop the other 7 into zone, and the personnel just isn't good. And the Rams are just loaded. And that McVay offense with all those receivers bunched in, running little crossers and screens, and you just have to make so many quick decisions as a defense. And the Rams are going to be running a lot of quick action. They're going to be bubble screening the Cardinals to death.
Well, one thing I like about this is that you have $100 price difference between Cooper Kupp and DeAndre Hopkins, but I think
huge rostership gap, though.
Right. But also I would say a huge ceiling difference, in this matchup with how it all works out. So just play wisely.
Yeah, who do you think's a better corner, Ramsey or Alford?
I mean, Malcolm Butler retired before the first game. I mean, that's not good. You know what I mean? So I like what you're thinking. You're playing my music. What do you think about Darrell Henderson? Is he playing this game? If he does, Sonny Michel played 1,600 snaps last week. Didn't do anything, but I'm sure he carved roll into McVay's heart. He's probably gonna timeshare with Henderson. No. What does his role look like? Full go?
If you're playing Rams running backs in this type of game, you're losing. It doesn't matter who they are. Henderson's banged up still. He's probably going to play, but there's that timeshare. You're not going to see a lot of running the ball because, this game is going to be a fast pace, very fast pace. The running's just going to be for shits and giggles. Let's keep you a little honest, even though it really doesn't do that.
So I feel like this is going to be a game where you've got James Conner's stat line, like 9 carries, 15 yards.
That's every week, and that was last week, but he fell in the end zone twice.
One catch, -3 yards, something like that for James Conner.
And I had a really strong feeling that Conner was going to score last week, and I was like so close to pulling the trigger on just plugging him in a couple spots because they had such a big advantage up front in the goal line situations. And sure as shit, that guy literally falls in the end zone twice. And ends up with 15 points with 2 touchdowns. Absolutely pathetic.
Wow. Wild shit. Yeah,
don't play running backs in this game unless it's Chase Edmonds. That's the only running back I'll play.
What about Tyler Higbee? He seemed to have a connection. We're
weird.
Weird.
Another tight end I hate that I'm playing this week.
Yeah, I know you do. I have him in Scott Fish. What's your Scott Fish check-in, by the way, right now? What's your record?
2-1. I won pretty easily the first 2 weeks, and then I decided to start Justin Fields in Scott Fish Bowl last week. And so -16 is bad for business. but I wouldn't have won anyway because the guy I played put up 200 on me. So yeah, take your loss, rebuild. Hopefully I have a lot better matchups this week than last week. So I'm actually putting Jimmy G back in over Fields this week just because I have to wait. I have the luxury of Jimmy G still starting. And he's got a really nice juicy matchup against Seattle this week. So I'll play it safe this week just to put forth another high point total. Whether I win or lose, it's more important for me to score points in Scott Fishbowl because I want to qualify that way.
No, I like your thought process. I'm 2-1 as well. First week, my guy Aaron Rodgers sunk my battleship.
Yeah,
so
he was not good against the Saints.
Not good. He really the worst I've ever seen him. I could not believe it. I was just
the worst he's ever been. So
cut your hair, bro. I was just like, get a job. What am I saying? I love that guy.
But that story that is running right now is absolutely true. He said last year that he took ideas on Twitter and Instagram for this year's Halloween costume. And he hasn't unveiled it, but he did say that he grew his hair out for that exact costume that was voted on by his fans. Yeah, so his followers voted on a Halloween costume, and he spent the whole year getting into character for Halloween.
Oh, I love that. I can't wait to see it. This is going to be so much fun.
It's going to be good.
I'm going to go as the guy who's beaten Bo McBig time in DFS. I think. Anyway, I'm not going to
Freddy Krueger. Freddie, he's got knives for fingers.
Oh my gosh! Look at his teeth. I'll say this: I have Cooper Kupp in Scott Fish, so
business is a booming.
So I'm kind of a big deal. I don't know if you knew that, but now you do. Anywho, back to the real magic here. Cooper Kupp, number 1 wide receiver in all of fantasy football. He's got 5 touchdowns. He is the favorite target of Matthew Stafford, who finally, besides Calvin Johnson, has somebody who can get into space now and just be open wherever he wants him to be. What do you think about this week? He's 7,800, but it's not even how high he should be priced, I believe.
I'm fading him.
Fade. In cash at all, or just overall?
Yeah, cash. You can play him with confidence because he's just that good. But 7,800 is really prohibitive, especially when we haven't seen him face any adversity yet this year. Yeah, they've schemed him open pretty well. He's still not very good against man coverage. I don't expect the Cardinals to run a ton of man, but it still remains to be seen whether Kupp is just that zone beater that he's always been, with just a better quarterback that can hit him down the field or hit him in stride when he's running those little bubble screens. He's great after the catch. Yes. But I'm looking at Robert
Woods, though. Yeah, I was going to say, what about Robert Woods? Yeah.
$2,500 gap between the two, and the last 3 years they've been side by side in ADP preseason.
Yeah. Punch and
Same
John,
thing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you could basically flip a coin and pick a Rams receiver in the same round, and you would be pretty much even. They pretty much produce the same in alternate weeks under Jared Goff. I think Robert Woods is too good. He's due, and 5,300 is an absolute insulting price for a guy of his ability. So yeah, in a tournament with that projected rostership at probably north of 20%, especially when I'm playing a lot of single entry tournaments, it's even higher than that. Cooper Kupp is too chalky and too expensive, and I can get after a player that's got the same potential, just we haven't seen it yet, in Robert Woods, and against a pair of corners for the Cardinals that are just simply terrible.
Yeah, I think it's a great play because you can pick up that value and then you can spend it somewhere else.
Huge value.
Yeah, huge value. That was an undersold there, Ponch and John reference. So I don't know if you understand, Ponch and John, you're too young for this, Bo, but in the 80s, that's a Chips reference. Watched it on the TV. They were LA highway patrolmen in LA. So, you know,
I've seen Chips, Scott.
Yeah, I know if you know Ponch and John was. Anyway,
Yes.
I
I live in California. Chips is a pretty big deal.
I didn't know if you had a TV back then. I barely had one. Anyway, that was, and you're like 25, so you know I don't know how old you are. But yeah. So anyway, yeah, you're not Jordan Vanek. He the math magician is like 19 this weekend, I think. Happy birthday. I don't know. We'll get a cake over there. I think he's legal soon. But anyway, yeah. Well, what about this game? Seattle, San Francisco. This game, it's got some plays in it, man. I think it's got some big plays in it. What do you think about this game?
I'm surprised to see that -2.5 for the 49ers because the Seahawks were favored all week.
It's an interesting turn of events as well.
I like the 49ers in this game. They're a better football team top to bottom.
They are.
Kyle Shanahan's the most overrated coach in the league, but he's got a great team around him. John Lynch has put together another really good roster. They have a lot of good problems to have. They got a solid Jimmy G, who's not spectacular, not great, but he's also not going to kill you usually. And then you have Trey Lance waiting in the wings. You have Trey Sermon, who's not that good. I wasn't really high on him preseason. That was the only player I disagreed with Matt Waldman on, was Trey Sermon.
Yeah.
But this week, I actually like Trey Sermon. It's a $5,000 spot. Not a lot of people are going to have him because they just watched Kyle Juszczyk out snap him and scored twice, and Sermon scored once, but he averaged 3 yards a carry. That's really bad, especially with the way their run offense is so potent and they get a lot of space. But doesn't have good vision. He doesn't break a lot of tackles. He doesn't block very well. He doesn't have great hands. He's not special, but I can see a little leverage play there because the Seahawks have all the big names. They have Tyler Lockett might play, but if he doesn't, you're going to see a DK Metcalf explosion. Chris Carson is disrespected. He's priced appropriately, but he's got a really safe floor for cash games. But Trey Sermon in a tournament has a little appeal there because you just need him to fall in the end zone and break off one big run, and you're going to be like, "Oh, I'm a genius. I'm never playing him again." But
get in and get out with Kyle Shanahan. That's how it is. You take your money and run with that guy because he's
if you correctly guess which 49ers back is going to be fantasy relevant, you better cash out.
You will wake up and find out he traded for Jerick McKinnon. You know what I mean? Like it'll just be something like that. It'll be terrible. But
welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back. Oh, and he tore his ACL walking off the plane. Right.
That's terrible.
That's how it goes with Kyle Shanahan. He's not to be trusted. He would pretend it happened. Anyway, I don't want to joke about player injuries. I'm sorry for that. Bo, please forgive me. That's not very nice. You're right. I'm just saying, poor Jerick McKinnon. I'm glad he's playing healthy and he's on a team right now. That's the best part of it all in real life. But in this game, we're looking at volume is the key, right? And getting that volume in the goal line, on the goal line, instead of the usurper. I hate the fullback touchdowns, man. Those things make me upset. I know that our guy. The fantasy engineer, he loves the fullbacks. He's got them on speed dial on his phone. He calls them at night. They're best friends. He gets signed jerseys.
And Jeff is good friends with Kyle Juszczyk, and Juszczyk is a great guy.
Yes, as a person, great.
Juszczyk is the only fantasy relevant fullback in the whole league. As much as Jeff loves Patrick Ricard, he's not a fantasy guy. He's a great blocker.
He's a blocker. He's a masher. Yeah, he crushes.
Juszczyk is both. Juszczyk is a good receiver. He's a good runner, a lot like Mike Allstott. And he's 4,000th min price running back. And I don't see it. I just don't see.
Not this week. I don't see it, but I don't even hate him though, because he's not somebody. I mean, he'll be involved in the offense completely. He'll be a vital part.
He'll be on the field a lot.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just some guy who comes in. I hate that when they're just like, it's just like they go on set or they go on down and they just quick turn around, hand it to the fullback, because that never works. It always works.
They scheme touches for use, Jeff.
Yeah, they do. They do. Talk about DK Metcalf a little bit earlier, transitioning to wide receiver. I am in love with DK Metcalf this week. I think he's a tremendous ceiling. Last time he went up against them in the beginning of the year last year, I think week 8 it was, he had 43 points. Dude balled out. The 49ers do not have anybody to really contain him. His hair is blue. The dude is trying to turn it red, on fire. I don't know. The guy's out of control. I love him.
He's a massive human being.
He's a beast. He's the beast, man. What do you think about him this week? You playing him or are you going to fade him? How's that going to look for you?
Why wouldn't you play him?
Why wouldn't you play him? Would you rather
he's
play
up there for me? He's up there with Tyreek Hill and your favorite boom or bust, like gigantic ceiling tournament players,
right?
And yeah, he's going to burn you every once in a while. When the Lockett game happens, like the first 2 weeks, you got burned by DK Metcalf, and then you're like, you know what? Metcalf's game. The Metcalf game is coming, and that's when we both played him last week because we knew the Metcalf game was coming.
We knew it,
and cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. Like our wide receiver calls last week were absolutely crushing. We were legendary wide receiver whisperers last week. We had Cooper Kupp. We had Mike Williams. We had Chris Godwin. We had DK Metcalf. We had all the top wide receivers last week.
They had the nuts last week.
That's the nimble DFS team. We're on top of our game right now, and we're getting sharper as the season progresses because all this information has come flooding in from our partners and from me and you watching highlights and tape and everything. Like the All 22 has been very helpful for me to see trends and matchups and putting it all together for, okay, who are we going to attack this week? And I'm attacking DK Metcalf this week again because Lockett, even if he plays, is not going to be at 100%. And the 49ers defense is really bad.
They're not good.
It's really surprising. Like they have good players.
They should be better. What do you think about Freddie Swain as a
no?
Yeah, I wondered about that. I have nowhere. I
don't like your Disley play either. The Disley play is trash.
We'll have to see about that. He's only 2,600. I just need.
Yeah, but so is Albert O. You missed an opportunity with Albert O stepping up.
Yeah, you're right. I did miss that. But you know what? This is what the show's for. Tomorrow I'll make that correction. And when I have to put in my 420 lineups. So, it'll be good.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, it's true. I've already actually put in.
I saw it. I
put in some lineups already. So I'm down to
I was beaming with pride when I saw that screenshot.
Thank you. I try. I've got about 300.
You're my boy, Blue. You're my boy.
I've got $350 in this. It also including a head-to-head with my guy Anthony Servino, $50. And the money shot. Yeah, I'm very excited about that. So, okay. So, anybody else that you want to talk about from this game? Russell Wilson's in play for sure. Jimmy G buy down? No. Debo stack? What do you think about that?
No, not a Debo stack. I got an Ayuk stack.
Ayuk stack. Oh, it's cheap.
Trend. You got to follow the patterns. Debo's on the downturn and Ayuk's on the rise turn.
Oh, the flip and the bip. I got it.
And Seattle's defense is not strong.
No, they're not good. So they're bad.
This is going to be a weird game because divisional games they can go either way.
Right.
And
they can go out or they can go very tight.
With the personnel that the 49ers have, we could see a low scoring, slow moving game because again, just like with the Browns and the Vikings, is you have two coaches that love to run the football and play a slow, close to the vest game, and then take a couple shots downfield and play action. Both these coaches are notorious for doing that.
Play action,
and then you might see a really wide open scoring fest, and a 52 is leaning that way. I think I might edge the under on this one just because it is a divisional matchup, and there's too much talent on the field on both sides of the ball for that defensive trend to continue.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one. I like that. All right, 2 more games to go. Let's kind of go fast through these two. So we have 2 more things to talk about. We have to build a Millie Maker lineup with the Occupy Fantasy tool, and then we also have to talk about the clash of the beards and
Beards and Bellies.
Well, I've got less beard as I've trimmed it off, and I'm trying to get less belly. So
I got a haircut.
Yeah. Yeah. So okay. So here we go. Green Bay welcomes Ben Roethlisberger.
Sorry.
He fell down last week when he tried to throw a pass. That was not very good. That was terrible, actually.
His cleat got stuck in the turf.
No, he can barely stand. Anywho, I love Aaron Rodgers this week. I made it the centerpiece of my team, $6,800. I think he's really undervalued. I don't understand what's going on there.
I don't know about his upside, but the price is crazy.
It's crazy. I mean, I can see a place in time where, you know, they do have to throw the football a little bit. They do have an advantage. Pittsburgh gives up a lot of points. They're like 28th ranked. They give up 45 points to the wide receivers. A lot of those points are going to go to Devontae Adams. I have a feeling about that. That's just Marquez Valdez-Scantling is out, so, you know, no one can drop a ball. Well, more people can drop a ball, but
if Marquez Valdez-Scantling falls in the woods and nobody's there to hear it, did it really happen?
If Darius Slayton and Marquez Valdez-Scantling drop a pass at the same time on red zone, which one does Scott Hansen go to first?
Yeah, but Scott, the air yards, the air yards.
Well, then it's always going to be Marquez then. So, you know. That's great. I love that. So in this game, you have Deontay Johnson returning. He's 6,200. I'm not even going to talk about Juju because that's gross. Naji Harris probably is the number one wide receiver on the team this week anyway, because they're going to be losing in this matchup. I don't know if Green Bay is going to through the air, by land, or by sea, but I think your boy wants to get some pad the stats here. I think it's going to be too much for Pittsburgh. Even though they do have Watt coming back, I don't know how strong he's going to be. We'll see. What do you think about this?
I'm taking the under. I don't like this game at all. I think that Adams is going to get his, Rodgers will get a couple touchdowns, but they're not going to be pedal to the metal. This game is going to be really just gross. Like, I don't like this game. I think Rodgers is a good cash play, but he's not a great tournament play. Adams has a very strong play every week, and especially against such a terrible secondary. And we haven't seen the Steelers get that same pass rush that made them tough last year. Aaron Jones, this could be another Aaron Jones receiving game like a couple of weeks ago. That's the one I'm really looking out for, even though Jones's price is really high, 7,700 for Aaron Jones against the Steelers front that's still pretty strong. Tournament wise, I love Aaron Jones, but like this game is just gross. Like cash games, you want Deontay and Naji because they're both great volume catching monsters.
Right. They're going to give you just the PPR. This is draft.
If Ben is going to throw it 40, 50 times because that's what's going to happen, and you get 15 targets for Naji, 15 targets for Deontay, somehow 8 targets for Juju, even though he's going to get 13 yards out of it. He's going to run 10 5-yard hitches and sit down and
what's the crossing routes? What's the crossing routes? We'll do like a 6-yard crossing route, dude. Don't forget that's his favorite one, where he likes to run across the logo and get blown up. So
I love to see it.
We can feature it next week if we want to start it with
turd. And my little sneaky stack inclusion guy is Alan Lazard with MVS out.
Right.
If you're gonna stack the Packers, I'm going to throw Lazard in there. It's just a fun play. 3,600. The guy's 6'5". He runs well. Rodgers loves to air it out down the field to him. We saw it last week where he caught that one bomb down the field.
Yep.
And with no MVS running those just wind sprints, basically, it's going to be Lazard's job to be a tall guy running wind sprints.
Yeah, I like his ceiling. They have it at 20. I think his ceiling could even be a little bit higher, honestly. He catches an 80-yard bomb. It could be a little bit bigger. But
these guys that run the Sims are pretty sharp. I love that.
I do. It's a good number. It is a good number. It could. I just said it could. No, these guys are great. I love Justin Freeman. Shout out. They're crushing it over here. All right, last game, and then we're going to jump over to our quick lineup builder to build our Millie Maker. Baltimore, Denver.
Do you like this game?
I like a little bit of here and there, but not in general. Where are you at with this game?
Lamar and Cash is easy money.
He's always Lamar and Cash. except for last week. Yeah.
But that Denver defense is for real.
It's a good defense. Yes, it is.
It's a great defense.
Yeah.
And the Baltimore Ravens have not been good in coverage. They're a lot like the Steelers, except they were never expected to have a good pass rush, and they came through with that one.
Well, Bob Miller. I mean, Bob Miller, is he finally playing? You know?
Yeah, he's playing great. He's playing great.
Playing great, right? Exactly.
He's tough. He's still great.
Yeah, and they have the secondary to stop people from passing the ball on them, and that shortens the field. It makes it a shorter field to play on. And I mean, that's where Lamar Jackson running the football. I think this is going to be a game like the total is kind of low, 44. I think it's going to go low. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think Denver's going to beat him pretty handily.
Yeah. So what's the score in this game for you? Is it going to be like 24-10, 24-17?
No, I want to put a little bit of respect on Lamar's name. I think it'll be 24-21.
24-21. Okay. So
right at the number. Right at the number.
Okay. I'm a little bit under. I'm going to say it's 21-17. Something like
I think it's gonna be a game that's not close as the score implies. I think Denver's pretty well stacked, better top to bottom than the Ravens are. They're just a better overall football team, even without Hamler and Judy.
What do you think about the Rashad Bateman breakout? When's that going to happen? Not this week, of course, but I mean next week, the week.
It might happen this week, but it's going to be really hard to justify putting him in yet.
Right.
We haven't seen him at all, and all I know is that when I watched him play at Minnesota last year, the dude's really good.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, "Oh, he's the best route runner. He's got the best hands." The dude goes out and runs a 4.39 on top of it.
It's disgusting.
I love that guy. That guy's going to be a superstar. You think Jamar Chase is good? I think that this is a more polished version of Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is a big play waiting to happen. We've seen it already. Bateman is a big play on top of a guy like Stephon Diggs, who's a technician. I think we're dealing with our next Stephon Diggs / Devontae Adams type player with Bateman.
Well, I mean, that's very sexy. I'm not going to lie about that. Here's a question in this matchup. Noah Fant, you like him? You love him? You want to have some of him? What are you looking at?
I like him, but I don't love him because of Alberto.
Talk to me about that.
They're going to run a lot of 12 personnel, and Alberto has been a touchdown vulture. And Fant, yeah, they're both freak athletes. They're both great receiving tight ends. They're both really good blockers. They're all around good players. And the only thing to like about this passing offense is that it's more and more condensed as they start to lose bodies. But Cortland Sutton's still the star of this offense. And Fant's going to get a good share. Alberto's going to get your random touchdown. And at 2,600, that's all you can hope for is that he scores a touchdown. And Fant, 43, that's right where he should be. He's a good cash tight end.
Yeah.
I'm not in love with either one of them because they're capping each other. They're the same guy. They're both really fast, big guys that play tight end for the Broncos. And Teddy B loves both of them equally.
No, that's a good point. What do you think about Melvin Gordon? He limited in practice this week. Well, question is, if he doesn't go,
he'll go. He'll go because he's an absolute cockroach. You can't kill the guy.
Yeah. So I'm just wondering if he does get banged out. Javonte Williams, what is he? 5,000? Is that all he is?
Yep.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, that was excellent. That was the Slate Walk that was brought to you by Run the Sims. And now I already have it pulled up here. So this is the Millie Maker. Let me make it a little bigger for all of you guys and girls out there so you can see fantasy football. It's the big dog, $4.25 million, $1 million to first. $1 million. Here is the thing. We're going to go over to Occupy Fantasy. We have the main slate build up here. Let's talk about how we want to approach this, Bo. Where are you?
You can actually see the 3 lineups I built last night.
Oh yeah, you have some lineups here. So let's go to lineup number 1 that you built. Aaron Rodgers, Derrick Henry, Devontae Adams, Alvin Kamara, Curtis Samuel, Alan Lazard, Kyle Pitts, Albert O, and the Saints. Ooh, I do like that. That's a sexy lineup. Let's look at lineup number 2.
Number
Patrick
2.
Mahomes. Number 2, Saquon Barkley, DeAndre Swift, Devontae Smith, Kenny G, Curtis Samuel.
Right? And nobody's going to have Kenny G.
No, I'm not as keen on this one for sure.
Yeah.
Throw your money in the gutter for that one. Dak Prescott, Derrick
Watch
Henry.
that fool ball out tomorrow and nobody expects it.
No, yeah, watch him catch a touchdown. Kenny Gainwell, Cole Beasley, I like that. DJ Moore, Marcus Callaway bringing him back. Little Saints stack here with the Callaway Saints D, and then CD and Dalton Schultz. I'm not against it. Now, here's the question.
The first one's the best one.
Yeah, for sure. How do I just create a new one so I don't like ruin the lineups that you have here?
Go down to like lineup 5 and it's empty.
Oh, okay. Lineup 5 is empty. Perfect. All right. So let's begin. Where do you want to begin? Do you want to begin where?
Running back.
Let there be running back.
I must say, playing around with this last night where I did save a few lineups, they're helpful hints for your high risk lineups, hitting the checklist down there below your roster on the right there, where it tells you your projected rostership. It tells you how much money per player you have left as you build it. My favorite thing is the little checklist down, the optimal lineup construction for high risk and low risk. That was interesting for me because it does ring true. These are the kinds of tools that Brian Jester built for this site. Is okay, what is the optimal lineup most likely going to be consistent of? 3-by-1 stack where you have 2 receivers or 3 players from one team and 1 with the other run back, and then your 2 running backs are maybe a little chalky, but you're still shooting for upside, and then 1 player that's a dart throw under 10%. I love that checklist. That helped me a lot.
It's great. It gives you kind of a little like blueprint, and then over here too, they have the dice throws compared to the cash, which I think DeAndre Swift kind of qualifies for both, but you kind of just see it where Derrick Henry, cash, David Montgomery, Naji Harris, all these, kind of cash plays. And then, the dice show you kind of these plays are more upside laden. I've got some plays for you, and I'm wondering what you want to do, but we'll see where you want to start. Running backs, you said, was your thought. Where do you want to go? Because I've got one for you. Maybe we could each put one in. Okay. Where you go for it? I've got an idea. It's a little sneaky play, but go ahead. Who are you thinking?
I'm going with. Oh, this is tough because I like so many guys. That's what
she said. That's what she said.
I just think that you're going to see a lot of big numbers come out of these high total games. And I have a feeling you're going to say Zeke or somebody like that. I'm thinking, I can't decide.
Well, if you can't decide, let's
put yours down first. I need to.
Okay. Well,
my brain's not operating 100%, as you know.
My guy is going to be Jonathan Taylor.
I love it. I love it.
Not many people on him. We already checked.
He's a little banged up.
One player. Well, and what do you think about that? Do you think he's going to get the touches because of that or not? Because I do move off of players who might not play as much because of injury. What do you think about that?
Just think about Jonathan Taylor, the player, at 6,300 in a good matchup against Miami.
I think
it's that simple.
I think it's simple too. We have our one running back.
When you have the running back at 6,300 with low rostership, with you making that pick, I'm going to go with Alvin Kamara.
Put it on the board. We have got 2 friends. Let's go to a quarterback position. How about that? Does that work for you?
That's where I was going to go. So yeah.
Oh, brilliant!
Interesting. Okay. Let's build that 3-by-1 stack that we're all looking for. Eh?
Yeah, I have a lean. I want to hear what you think in this. We've got a range of outcomes. A lot of different friends here. I'm leaning over here. Matthew Stafford character. What about
Yes, sir.
you? What about
Yes,
you?
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We're on the same page. And then I was gonna hold on. Let me just go over here to wide receiver because we only need one quarterback. I was also.
They won't let you roster 2 quarterbacks.
That's what she said. I want to go Bobby Treese. Is that okay?
I was already gonna say that. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. So, all right. Now, and in this though, we can't just leave it there. We got to bring it back with somebody else. So one thing I love about this tool is you just go to the team, right? And then so we can just go right over here to Arizona, and then we can also say, well, we might want to just also look at the Rams at the same time too.
Yeah.
So like that,
Sure.
And then we've got a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So we've already got Woods, but we've got some other options here. Low rostership across the board. AJ Green, Rondell Moore, both
insane.
Very low, 1.1 rostership. So there's going to be nothing kind of on that ballpark there. What do you think? Who's got the bigger upside? Not playing with Jalen Ramsey. Where are you going on this?
AJ Green.
AJ Green, priced down at 4,500. We're bringing up price a little bit, which is nice. I like to do this at this point just so I can feel better about myself. You want to just go pivot to a defense real quick just before we get our other wide receiver? Because that would help me. That would help me. It's to get our money up a little bit.
You need to sit. Yeah, you need to sit on a block of ice or something.
I just want to just look around. That's all. I'm just saying.
Cool down. I just need to cool down.
Oh, this is crazy. That's nuts. There are some roster defenses here. A lot of pay down defenses or pay up when it comes to the Bills. Where are you trying to go here? The Cowboys are interesting, by the way. They might be somebody. Are you interested in that or no?
I like the Saints better.
The Saints. That's a pay up defense. Oh, interesting.
It is. But look at 3.5% against the Danny Dimes with 2 of his best receivers out.
It is true. That's great. And we're correlating with Alvin Kamara there, which I like.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So we don't have a game stack in this yet, but we're okay. We can still bring it back.
We might stumble into it.
Yeah, we might, and we might not. It's okay. We don't have to have everything. We can try to get as most as we can. So
I like the dice everywhere. Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot of dice. One thing I do like here is we're at 49, which is good. That gives me, and we're only at 53% rostership. Our projection is nice here.
Beautiful.
Too. Yeah, I'm into this. Okay, so where do we want to go from here? Because we've got one more splash in the cash. Are we going tight end for that with Kelsey? Are we going to go wide receiver, big upside? Where are we going? Because flex, we could go our boy Curtis Samuel. We can do a little Sam. You know what I'm saying? We can do that.
Yeah, I think that I'd rather do that. I like the stars and scrubs with Kamara and Travis Kelce. I mean, or even Tyreek Hill would be nice. I mean, just to shoot for the moon. This is the fucking Millie Maker.
It is. Let's go put in real quick.
I just want to see because I checked it last night and they already look a little different as far as the rostership projections go.
So Curtis Samuel, only 3.4% rostered. That's not.
It was
bad.
0 last night, so I think I spoke too soon because everybody was so all quiet on the Western Front, and then I published an article today mentioning his name, and all of a sudden he had 3.4. I think that was me.
You dirt dog, you.
Have you seen anybody else talk about Curtis Samuel this week?
No, not an MF on the street. Look at this. Deshaun Jackson has a 0% ownership. Let's just throw Deshaun Jackson in our flex, and then let's see how much money we have left. We got 79. So
just shy of a Kelsey.
We're just shy of Kelsey, and what that would do, that does give us our third check mark.
But you can also take Jackson out and put somebody at that 3,600 price tag. We don't necessarily need a Jackson.
No, we do not. And you know what? Honestly, for me, I think I would rather, have Kelsey, personally.
Especially on this slate. This slate is rough at tight end.
Yeah.
There's no Waller there. Kittle's banged up. Kittle's been the best blocker on the 49ers, so you're not going to see him putting up the big receiving numbers until they face a team with a bad pass rush. 3,600, big projection, low rostership.
We need a flex now. We've got 36. Now we don't have to use it all either. You know what I mean? But we
have a couple guys in that range that I really like.
Yeah, so let's untight end. Let's go to flex options, and then we're gonna sort by prices here, and then we're gonna because we got to get. Are we still on a team? Oh, we're still on a team. Yeah, okay. We gotta get off KC. Sorry, KC. Love you, but and then we got to get down here to
downtown Brown.
Downtown.
Keep going.
I'm thinking about in Lost when they played that downtown.
It was eerie, wasn't it?
Oh, wait.
Oh, is that guy right there? Is that guy right there?
He's right there. He's the exact price. He's the exact price. Wait a second.
Okay, before you lock him in, look around.
Okay.
Take inventory.
Wait. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the one.
Okay. Yeah. Wait.
Yeah, I don't like any of the other guys.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So let's take a look
crap.
here. We've got a lot of upside. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's through the moon upside wise. This might be one of the best lineups we've ever built. So let's
I hope to say that every week.
I do, but I feel very strongly about this one. That's all I can say. I don't want to jinx.
As Scott likes to say, it's strong to quite strong.
Quite strong to and listen, we might pivot off of Taylor depending on the injury if he is going to be limited. We'll listen to the experts.
I think he's gonna be fine.
I do as well. I think
there'd be more smoke signals earlier in the week, like Friday practice, if they were really worried about him. Then like he logged 3 part-time practices this week. I'm not overly concerned about Taylor.
Yeah.
It's a running back. You can't let him practice 3 days a week. That's just no.
Running back shouldn't practice at all.
No, they should be healing up on the training table all week long, just resting, recuperating, healing bruises.
Right. I don't understand any of it. It doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Or like the Ravens running all their best running backs out in the preseason and they all got hurt. Imagine that.
No way. That didn't happen. I can't believe you're lying to me. Oh, wait. No, I did. It happened to all of them. Every single one of them.
All of them. And then some.
Every single one of them. This lineup, it gives me the heebie-jeebies, man, in a good way, and I'm very excited to put it in to play. And it's probably the best $20 I've ever spent. And I'm going to drop it in like it's hot because it's going to come back. And I will enter this lineup into more contests. All right, I love that. This is the lineup. Take your screenshots, folks. This is going to win the Millie Maker right here. Stafford, Kamara, Jonathan.
Don't
Taylor.
Also put it in the Millie Maker. I don't want to chop pots with anybody.
Yeah, don't fucking put this in. This is ours. You can put your own in. Change ours. Put somebody else's in. Right? You have to be a dick. This is our little bullet here. Watch everybody put it in after I taunt them. Thank you very much.
We won the Millie Maker for $37.
Yes, I can quit my job now. No, I can't because everyone, jumped in here. I gotta say, I do like, my guy Mike Collins building 87 more lineups. You can do it, brother. You can build it. Don't worry. I know you can. That was brought to you, by the way, the lineup builder by Occupy Fantasy. You saw how easy it was to use, how nimble with numbers it was. It was awesome. I love it. We got a great lineup, lots of dice. We're gonna roll.
Speaking of DFS with agility.
Speaking of rolling, let's jump over here to our lineups. We're going to talk about the clash of the Beards and the Bellies, week 4. And I
just love my title. I think I rambled on in my intro, but the title is very, very apropos.
Yes. Well, you know what? I mean, I like the Howler Monkey. That was hilarious.
Yeah, that's how reclusive I am.
Yeah, it was really funny. But I mean, here's the thing. I'm not a huge victory lap guy. We do talk some smack over there on the Sports Me app. Bo Mick, big time Nimble W numbers. Check us out over there, please. We love it over there.
I'm the top of the leaderboard on Sports Me the whole week, the last week too. So
well, you've been
no
whoring
big deal.
You've been whoring it out, dude. You're in like everybody's contest.
I'm in every battle, but I'm also winning a ton of them.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to
There's
you.
a lot to be said about being good at battling.
I agree with you. You know what? I'm just gonna say my guy David had to destroy him the other day. He was talking shit about Kirk Cousins, and I was just like, "Hey, homeboy, I know you don't like Kirk Cousins."
I joined him.
I know. You guys are crazy. It's just like the numbers.
He's gonna turn into a pumpkin this week, and you're gonna be like Homer Simpson fading back into the edges.
I'm not saying you can't have a bad game where he's gonna have like an interception-free season and stuff. I'm just saying that this is the best Kirk Cousins I've ever seen, and Derek Carr was the AFC Offensive Player of the Week. So that's like vindication a little bit. Anyway, we'll get into the lineups. Bo is his cash lineup. I like it a lot. I'll just let him go through it though. Bo, hit us with why you kind of each of your plays real quick. Give me your logic, and then we'll get to mine.
So I don't just want to end my losing streak. Two in a row is embarrassing. I'm better than that. I got too cute last week. I played Justin Fields against a tough defense in his NFL debut with a terrible head coach who had no clue what he's doing, and I got burned. I lost by 4 because I played the wrong quarterback, and I don't want to do that again. So going back to cash game with a lot of GPP flair to this. I did go with a full game stack with the Rams and Cardinals here with a 3x2. Over half of my players in one game. It's extremely risky, but the way I see it is if I'm going to end my losing streak, I'm going to do it in momentous fashion. I'm going to do it with a big, gigantic explosion of points. And not only am I going to win, I'm going to destroy.
Yeah, I like your.
And if I lose, it's going to be like 150 to 110.
I like the hubris because if you win, we might win the Millie Maker. If you lose, we might lose the Millie Maker. So it's okay. But then I might.
We've lost the Millie Maker before. It ain't no big.
We have. Yeah, I know. And I do like a lot of these plays in here, minus the Higbee, Rondell Moore play. Besides those, I do like it. And I'm down with it. I think you have a good write-up as well for your guys. So please check it out over there at nimblewnumbers.com, the Clash of the Beards and the Bellies. Let's roll down to my team real quick before we get out of here. And oh, by the way, this is definitely brought to you by Prize Picks. Go check out Prize Picks. I loved it when I was in North Carolina, but I could play Prize Picks, and it was tremendous. And I got to play, and I won some. And I lost some, but I didn't lose my money all the way because Prize Picks, you can go 3 out of 5, and you still get $4 40% back of your money. It's just great. I love it. It's just a real smart way to kind of parlay your winnings, but anyway, here we are. This is my team. I've got Aaron Rodgers, Derrick Henry as well, so we negated Zach Moss. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm thinking Houston sucks. I was a little out of control. I might have been sober. It's October. I'm doing sober October. So I've got Odell Beckham. I know, in a cash grab for sure for Odell. Just given his volume and the upside in the offense, I think he can get it done here. DK Metcalf, we've talked about him. I love him very much. He's got a huge, huge ceiling this week. And then Westbrook Akina, I think he just has volume.
Who?
Yeah, Westbrook Akina.
4 targets last week. That's volume.
Yeah, well, no, no, this week he'll have more volume.
What
he said, she said, he said. Well, we'll see. I like his price at 3,200. I should have gone for
3 very suspect players in your lineup, and then a bunch of great plays. I love Beckham, I love Kelsey, I love Metcalf, and of course I love Rodgers and Henry. But your flyers that you're taking, I'm very concerned about.
You would go for Disley. Would you go Tremble over Disley? Alberto. There you go. I like it. So do weigh in. Let us know who wins the Clash of the Beards and the Bellies this week. If it's 3 in a row for me, Bo, what's going to happen? I mean, what's it going to,
Well, I think my brain doesn't work tonight, but somebody proposed that if we're not sumo wrestling, then it's an epic fail. So if you beat me for the 3rd time in a row, I'm going to fly out to Maryland and I'm going to sumo wrestle you.
Oh my gosh.
Just to re-exert my dominance, because it's going to be super embarrassing to lose to Scotty Stacks 3 weeks in a row. I don't want to feel how you felt last week or last year when I just kept rolling off wins, and it couldn't have felt good.
No,
I was eating pints of ice cream last Sunday after watching Justin Fields just just fall apart in front of my very eyes and kill my beautiful lineup with just
it's terrible.
Awful football. Awful game to watch. Just a terrible game to watch. And watching all my great plays just all for naught. Like, you got my worst lineup. That hurt me inside to know that I had such a huge week where I won a couple of tournaments and won a couple $100 on small tournaments with 200-point lineups, and then you got the one where I put up 120.
Yeah, no, it was
or
just
132.
It was disheartening. Yeah. It was disheartening. I feel bad.
It hurt my feelings because I had so much better to offer you, and you didn't get my A game. You got my C- game, and it wasn't acceptable.
Well, I forgive you, and I will let it slide for this one time. I gotta say, Coach Craig, shout out, my guy.
Love that guy.
Big fans. I do want to say, just on the end as we leave, you can check Bo's workout, ballblast.com. You got to be a blastronaut, though. So, make sure you get in there as a ball blastronaut. How does it work, Bo? What am I plugging it correctly? You got to get in there and get the Bo paywall. Get through that, Bo.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of a big deal now.
Kind of a big deal.
Ballblastfootball.com. But if you want to read and get all the scoop of all my DFS plays for cash and GPP, all my best stacks, all my value plays, it's all in the main slate article. It's coming out tomorrow morning, first thing. You got to be a blastronaut. You got to be at least at the $10 a month tier, which it's nothing. Like, I've already just Sam Wagman, the first showdown slate he played with some of my plays. He was Brian Edwards, one last hitting the snooze on his alarm clock in that Ravens-Raiders game. If Brian Edwards hits the snooze one more time, we're talking about Sam Wagman winning the Thursday Millie Maker or the Monday Millie Maker off of my Showdown Blasters article. And that's $10 a month to be a blastronaut and to get all the stuff. And we are absolutely annihilating Showdown Slate. You did great last night or the other Thursday night. Like, you took down a good one. Like, you had one of those little cheap showdown tournaments and you won the damn thing.
That was only 2,500 people. You know what I mean? It wasn't that many people.
But still, that you turned 50 cents into a couple $100. That's amazing. And
I'll say it's definitely worth it if you're going to pay $10. If it can recoup you hundreds of bucks or thousands of bucks.
I had my finger when I was writing my Showdown Blasters article. I had my finger hovering over the CJ Uzomah button about 50 different times. When I was building, when I was writing, I was like, CJ, is he gonna do it? Is he the guy? And I'm looking at the numbers. I'm looking at what he did last week. He was pretty good, and I just couldn't hit the button. And I went elsewhere, and that was the difference between me getting a min cash and then doing what you did, where you scored 15 more points, and you went from a 2x payout like I had to 20, 30x payout. That's amazing.
It did not suck. It was
it's quite strong.
Yes. Well, I would encourage people too. We have plays for tomorrow over at they'll be up soon, by the way, for Patreon at Nimble.
Get to work, this slacker.
I've only been writing 2 articles and then like taking care of the dog and running the DFS show with Anthony, all that good stuff. But anyway, they will be up. Because we got patrons, we got people who do pay money to get those winning articles. Winning laps, if you played the laps that we put in there last week, you're getting 190 points, 180 points, 200 points for Bo. They're gonna win you some money. Yeah. So also in the high score contest, Mike Collins is officially in this week. If anybody else wants in, let us know. It's $10.
He's gonna back out if he throws out a dud, though. He's not all in.
He's putting in 120 lineups. Dude is in. Guy's got lineups coming out his ass.
So you guys should be ashamed of yourself. If you're putting 420 lineups and he's putting in over 100, and I'm going to throw in, I think I have 35 lineups.
The reason I'm putting 420 in is because after I beat that showdown slate, I went to every single showdown slate and just put in a bunch of the 25 cent, 10 cents so that I can just that's where I only have 56 lineups in the main. That's it. And that's reserved. So don't worry. I'm not going crazy. But I got to say, I can't wait for tomorrow. From right now, I'm not going to go to bed for another 2 hours or maybe an hour and a half. From now until just tomorrow, I'm just going to do football the whole day. I can't wait to load everything in to DraftKings. I got about $350 in DraftKings. I'll be playing next 24 hours. Cannot wait to see what happens. But what's your big shock? What's your big call? What's your big play that just wins it all? What do you got for the people?
Curtis Samuel. I'm telling you, he's too good. He's healthy. He's on the field. And it's the Falcons. Have you watched the Falcons play football?
They didn't cover Devontae Smith the first game of the season, did they?
No, they did not.
Jalen Reagor, did they cover him?
No, they did not.
Wait. The next week, did they cover Chris Godwin or Mike Evans or or Gronk or any of those guys?
No, they didn't cover anybody. Wait.
Now you're telling me that did they cover some of the Giants though, or did that actually happen? I mean,
no, actually, they covered Golladay and Slayton because they covered themselves.
Right, because Giants are terrible.
It was a comedy of errors.
And Danny Times is their quarterback, so
yeah, fantasy good, real life bad,
not good.
And so this week you have Terry McLaurin. Ever heard of him?
Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah, I've heard of him.
And then you got Logan Thomas. Ever heard of him?
I've heard of that guy too.
And you got Antonio Gibson, Memphis running back. I love those guys. I bought my Tony Pollard jersey Thursday. It's coming in a week and a half. Custom Tony Pollard jersey, and I ordered it the same day that Tony Pollard had his baby girl. He just had his first child. Yep. So he just had a baby girl on Thursday. So I mean, Tony Pollard narrative against Carolina.
I like it. My big call of the week is that there's no anger in my family for me sitting down here and watching football all day long. They're going to reserve it for next week because next week there's a London game, which means I'll be down here at 9:30 in the morning. Bo, you'll be at your TV at 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
it's
I'll
going
probably be pulling an all-nighter next weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be wild times next weekend. So enjoy it this weekend, family. Because next
should leave the Falcons in London, by the way.
Oh, man, we should sell them. We should sell the Falcons honestly, just to the British government. They can take them over.
We actually do not want Arthur Smith.
We're putting the Falcons into relegation, unfortunately. So
unfortunately, Arthur Smith did not pass the protocol.
No, but we're going to keep Kyle Pitts as the new Big Ben. So thank you, Drive Through. Yeah, seriously. So do check out Bowman Big Time on Twitter.
Sure, Kyle Pitts.
Yeah. Check out me, Nimble W Numbers on Twitter. And please check out our Nimble Patreon. We will be cashing and flashing the cash. Winning this week for sure.
I was gonna say I don't know about flashing, but yeah, if it's cash, we're flashing the cash.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: when I win, I put my winnings up. Is what I'm saying. So when you see my tweets with the winnings, or Bo's tweets with the winnings,
but don't give people the wrong impression about the nature of our Patreon.
Well, what do you think? That we're just giving out winners,
or that we're flashing people on our Patreon?
Oh no!
Some other Patreon accounts are different ilks.
But I think that's called. That's OnlyFans. We're not.
Oh no! It's not just OnlyFans.
What? Spill the beans, you guys. At the end of the show, you guys spill the beans. No one's awake now. It's 12. No one's. It's like only 6 people on YouTube on this thing. I mean,
it's only 9 o'clock here.
Yeah. All right. So what are you talking about? So there. So like, is there like blast or not content that I'm not aware of for like $5? You can get like a Bo ball blast. Is that what you're showing me? Like, what's going on here?
Stay tuned, America. It's in the works.
Oh no.
We're actually testing we're testing the market before we release it.
Yeah, that's what she said.
If you want your beta version.
Oh, your beta cuck version. Yeah. No, seriously. There's people who for Patreon are
it's the same principle as OnlyFans, where you have content on a website and people pay you for that content.
Are you talking about people in the fantasy community who are doing that though? Like
no, it's just saying the nature of Patreon as a site. as a subscriber-based service.
Yes. Okay. I thought you were saying like people are selling picks and some. I was like, what? Who's doing this? Is this Mike?
Hey, if nobody's doing it, there's a market opportunity.
Right. That was like, man, I'm trying to get in on this. You know what I'm saying? I hope we didn't get beat to the market here, fantasy and some, you know. So
it's a true fantasy.
Yeah, get some with listen.
If you're daydreaming about what we could possibly put on our Patreon page, it's more of a nightmare.
Yeah. I mean, we're the world's sexiest DFS show for now. You know what I mean? So
we're giving away too many free ideas right now.
I know. It's late too over here on the East Coast, the only legitimate coast, according to Denny Carter, because football starts here at 1:00. So now I've got T-minus 12 hours and 47 minutes until kickoff. And I got to get Bill Myers.
I can't wait to see the Redskins roll out their rookie Darrell Green on the West Coast.
I hear he's fast as Willie Galt is. He's
really fast.
Yeah. Oh man,
I'm excited to watch Darrell Green for the first time on the West Coast. We finally caught up.
Him and Rocket Ishmael can race. You know, we'll see how that goes. So appreciate everybody who chimed in and who jumped in. With the transition, one thing I've noticed, Bo, we don't have the Twitter folk. We have the YouTube folk, which is fine. I'm grateful for both folk, but we had a lot of YouTube folk in here. So thank you, everybody who did check us out on YouTube, and have a great DFS slate walk tomorrow. Hope you win it all, Bo. I hope we win it all. Anything else you want to say for the people?
You're going down, fool.
Yeah, I'm taking you downtown, Bo. I'm sorry. I'm going to win again. Peace, everybody.